When I met Victor Wooten for the first time and got the chance to play his personal bass, I was surprised to realize he plays crazy thin strings. Now, 20 years later, let's talk about why he did that. .40 to 95 is a light gauge for bass strings, but Victor's strings were even thinner, I believe 35 to 95. Correct me if I'm wrong. But first, hey, welcome to Bass the World. My name is Gregor Fries and I'm your bass string guide for the day. Accompanied by my friend Frank It playing these two NYXL sets on the Bass the World signature bass from Sandberg. When I transitioned from guitar to bass at age 18, my first proper instrument was a Warwick Streamer Stage 1 from the late 80s. And back then I also loved to use very thin strings. Victor was a big part of why I fell in love with bass, and without knowing about his preferences yet, I gravitated towards these thin strings too. I tried a few different gauges and 30 to 90 is where I decided to settle. Thin strings have a lot of overtones. They feel fresh and loose with their low tension and have an awesome dynamic range. Perfect for Victor's solo bass style, especially on boutique basses that allow these insanely low string heights. Nowadays I play 45s on pretty much all my basses, but these 40 to 95 NYXLs are great, a sweet trip down memory lane. However, 2 years ago I joined a stoner rock band where everything was tuned down to drop C, and that's where I made my first contact with thicker strings. 55s, just like these, and that's a whole different story. They're weapons, they're steady, they want to be fought. It's a very different approach that also has its place. And don't ask, this band doesn't exist anymore. As always, it's the drummer's fault. You might have noticed there were barely any overtones. These thick strings and their insanely high tension are from another world. When the 40s from earlier are sleek bike, these here are a tank. Of course they're mainly used for all kinds of drop tunings, but for our comparison we decided to go with a regular EADG tuning to really get an idea of what makes them different. And they are. The bass feels like a completely different instrument with this set installed. The tension is extremely high. Of course if you tune your bass down it will feel normal again. I think that's what these are mainly made for. Before we do a direct comparison, let's see Frank fight with them in regular tuning one more time. Most players I know use 45 gauge strings, means 45 to 105 for the E string. But these more extreme sets absolutely have their place in the world too, and not just for drop tuning and piccolo basses. They're both a lot of fun to play, I enjoyed this very much. The crisp, overtone rich sound of the 40s and the high tension of the 55s that makes you think twice before you overplay anything. And now, finally, let's hear a direct comparison so you get an idea how your sound will change. They're the same type of strings, the only difference is the gauge here. Did you hear a difference? What do you think and what did you hear? And what type of strings are you using? Please tell me in the comments. Thanks to Diadario for helping us to go on this fascinating journey. This was fun. Here's another video where we compared nickel to steel strings. Here's some merch shop. And here's me saying, Tschö mit Ö. Bass the World.